testimony, I sat with this for a while, simply because, like you, there are so many aspects of my story that I could share. But I can't tell you how many times last week I started writing and backspacing and praying and just wrestling with what I needed to share that was for this group. Because anytime you share truth, there's vulnerability that's needed before freedom.
Amen.
And the truth be told, y'all, during the past decade, there have been seasons where I felt far from a warrior woman. Yet I know my feelings are not what define truth.
Amen.
From the many shattered expectations of positive pregnancy tests, to a miscarriage, to simply the overall disappointment in the whole family planning process. The truth be told, I was angry when it all began to happen. Why me? Why us? My husband and I, we served and honored you with our lives. Why hasn't it happened for us? From unexpectedly losing my father due to a breathing attack associated with COPD. The last place that I saw my father, y'all, was in church. I remember watching him as he walked on up for prayer. And the weekend prior, he had spent the night at our home along with my mom. And I captured videos on my phone that final weekend spent that would later serve as memorials of a broken heart of a daddy's girl. And the truth be told, y'all, that loss has changed me forever. I not only grieved my father, but I grieved the possibility of experiencing the fruit of the transformation that was beginning to happen on the inside of him. God had drew him to himself during the last months of his life and then took him home. And I am still healing from that loss. From a best friend that I lost due to murder, to a lost baby, to a lost father, to a lost cousin unexpectedly, to lost grandparents. I guess you can say that I've become acquainted with tragedy, loss, lament, and grief. The truth be told, we all have. Raise your hand if you can relate to any of these, from the loss of our own loved ones to maybe the loss of a marriage or a relationship. We may be mourning the loss of a friendship right now, the loss and deterioration of health. Maybe you've lost a child or a parent, to the loss of countless Black lives in our communities. A piece of us feels grief when there is yet another RIP hashtag, and we all can relate to the pain of losing various heroes of our culture. Most recently, Nipsey Hussle and Kobe Bryant, along with his daughter Gigi, and the other families that lost their lives. Yeah. We all felt that. Loss is an unfortunate part of our lives in this earth. And as Black women, it can often feel as though we are in a perpetual state of loss and grief. And guess what, y'all? There's a time to weep, and there's a time to mourn. Mourn it all. One may ask, how are you getting through this grief? Let the truth be told, y'all. Some days I don't know how. I've had some dark days. Days where I couldn't get out of bed. Days where anxiety tried to take over. Yet it is with his grace and with his strength, coupled with the power of prayers from some loving sisters like y'all, I move forward. I overcome. And I've learned that some days my biggest victory would be to simply put one foot in front of the other. I've also learned that I don't have to hold back tears. In fact, I refuse to hold in tears, giving myself the space and the room to cry as needed. I write, I vent, I pray, I worship, I dance, I sing, I go to therapy. Amen?
Amen.
I avoid comparison traps.
Yes.
And anything else that could deplete my energy. I also honor my best friend who was murdered by pouring into her daughter regularly, who is my goddaughter. I honor my dad by eating his favorite dessert, key lime pie, whenever I go out. If you've ever been out with me, I've ordered key lime pie. I'm always looking for a karaoke party as well, because he loved karaoke. I am a spiritual mom to young people around me, and they all keep me busy and on my toes, trusting that the Lord will open my womb in his perfect timing.
Amen.
And I honor my grandmother by keeping the traditions, by putting our family first and not allowing these traditions to die. I grieve, y'all, but not as those who have no hope. Let the truth be told, we are products of a loving Father who isn't intimidated by our questions, and I've had many. In fact, he uses all of these moments, drawing us deeper into him. Each grievous season, God has used it to bring me closer to him in some way.
Amen.
I've shed dead weight. I've learned what's important. I've embraced the call to restore and rejected my own petty behaviors.
Amen.
The truth be told, over time, I've gotten settled in a few truths. The earth is not our home.
Yes.
And though we walk through the fire, we are not destroyed.
Well.
It purifies us. It refines us if we allow it.
Well,
Many of us may ask, God, how can he allow these things to happen? Is God really sitting up there laughing at our misfortunes as if we are pieces in this game of life? The truth be told, that is not his heart.
No.
He too is acquainted with pain, and his plan was always for us to be in union with him apart from grief, and yet we live in this fallen world due to the offenses of the first humans. We can easily say, well, that was for them. Why do we pay for it? The truth be told, we didn't.
Amen.
Our gracious God loved us enough to send his son
That's right.
to pay for our sins. And if we are honest about our lives, we realize that we grieve God daily from our actions. Yet we are still products of his grace. He is our salvation. Although we don't deserve it, he's still our great shepherd.
Amen.
Walking us continuously through valleys and shadows of death, we can refuse to fear evil as we press into the Comforter today. He is our strength when we are weary, our manna in the wilderness. He is our refuge and our protection, and he is our hope when all hope seems lost.
Amen.
He is the strength of our heart and our forever portion. He is our safety in the time of trouble, and let the truth be told, he still loves us enough to speak to us today. So today, warrior women, we have a choice. We can grow faint, cower, and back down due to our loss and our grief, or we can courageously rise as daughters of the King, allowing his love and his truth to fill what we have lost, casting down all our anxieties, all of our cares, believing and knowing that he cares for us. And although eternity is our ultimate hope, we shall see his goodness in the land of the living. So, well, ladies, now that you have heard my truth, I invite you to turn to your neighbor and take a moment to share a truth that your spirit is willing to speak. What's your truth be told moment about 2019 or this past decade? Thank you.